What's up, peoples? How's everybody doing? This is Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist, coming to you from the car studio with good news. As always, I always bring you good, very good news. So my first version, I guess, let's call it that, the first version in PDF. My artist guide is out. My first version artist guide is out. It's PDA format. It's out. It's up and alive. Where I talk to you guys. It's a short, actionable guide. Okay. This is not like, let me tell you my life story. This is not an ebook by any sense, anyway. This is a guide. This is an artist guide. This is something that I did. I recorded it. I wrote it down, and now I'm passing it over to other artists. Now, I held on to this information for a long time, guys. I held on to this information on how to monetize for a long time. There was a lot of reasons around it. Okay, one of them was I was ashamed. One of the very first reasons I was ashamed. Everybody told me that I was a sellout, that I was just a bad person, right? That I was a piece of crap because I was selling my artwork. First of all, because I was selling my artwork, and second, because I was selling my artwork in less than reputable places. So I was ashamed because I thought of myself as a gallery artist, as a serious artist. You know, I'm a serious artist, and how dare I challenge the status quo and go and start making, over $500 in one day on Craigslist. How dare I do that? So the guide is out. I'm going to share the link. Those of you who want to get it. I managed to use a service that you can pay through PayPal or whatever. If it's important to you, right? This meant the world for me. This was a game changer for me when I started. It moved me from not making any sales to start monetizing. If you're not gonna use it, like if you don't want to use Craigslist, it doesn't matter. You can use it in other places. It's not just Craigslist. What I want you to do through this guide is to change your mindset from oh man, I can't sell artwork to oh man, I can actually start monetizing, yeah. I want you to go from I can't do this, at the very least, get the guide, buy it. It's not worth much. I just wanted to put a hook so that I don't want to get people bitching at me and complaining that it didn't work for me, because I already know that if you don't jump a little hoop, it's not going to work for you. Like, you have to do a little something, You have to do a little something. If I just put it out there and people will see it like an article and they won't care about it. I know that because I've done that many times. I've given massive valuable content, and some people just treat it as nothing, So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that this time. I'm not gonna do that with that guy, because that guy literally changed my life. That was the turning point of my life as an artist. And I told myself, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not just gonna throw it out there in hopes that people, because I don't live from that. Like, that's not how I made my income. I don't make my income selling guides and shit like that. Like, at least not yet. I make my income from selling paintings. So I don't want to do it for free. Anyways, the guide is out. I'm gonna put the link below. I'm gonna launch it. I just launched it. It's on my Facebook. Those of you who follow me on Facebook, it's on my Facebook. on both my fan page and my personal Facebook page. It's at Jose Trujillo. All right, my name, Jose Trujillo. You'll see my beautiful face there. I just posted the guide, the link. Go get the guide. It's $49, guys. Like, I don't know if it seems a lot. If it's a book, you're like, man, I don't want to spend $49 on reading something. It's literally like, I don't know, it's like 4 pages of just jam-packed content of what exactly I did in order to go from like, man, I'm broke, I'm not selling anything, to, oh shit, I can do this. I figured out how to do this. I can actually add it up and figure out how to do this. And it's more than just the guide, guys. It's the change of mind. At least if you can get that, if you can change your mind about selling artwork, if you can change your mind about, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna sell my pieces of artwork that I labor intensely on. I don't know, that I sit there and paint for months. I'm not gonna sell them on Craigslist. I totally understand that. Like, don't do that. I totally get that. But if you have skills, use them to monetize. This is what this guide is about. I used to paint portrait paintings, very labor-intensive portrait paintings, and I even before that I was painting frescoes. You guys know what frescoes are? Some of you guys know what frescoes are. Maybe many of you guys know what frescoes are. Not fresco a seco, fresco. Fresco is a very old, ancient way of painting, in which you mix, you prepare the wall with a lime, right? It's almost like a stucco, lime, and it's wet. And there's a whole process of doing it. I was shadowing an artist, and that was one of the very first things I started learning how to do, painting frescoes. A lot of artists from where I'm from, originally, Guadalajara, are fresco painters. They understand fresco. And I think because of the traditions of Diego Rivera back then, a lot of artists, and David Siqueiros and Jose Clemente Orozco, some of the major artists in Mexico, they were multidisciplinary artists, but they painted frescoes too. And they were big advocates of mural and fresco painting in Mexico and throughout the world. So I did not learn from them, of course, but I did shadow artists who knew how to do it, and I learned how to do it. So by saying this, I'm not trying to sound like super smart, because I'm not. By saying this, I'm trying to say, look, guys, I used to do labor-intensive work, artwork. I understand you don't want to sell that for 30, 40, 50 bucks. I totally get it. Don't do that. But if you already know how to draw, if you already know how to paint, if you already know how to do something, work around it so that you can create some cash flow. This is what my guide is about. My guide is not about selling your soul and prostituting yourself as an artist. Because I know a lot of artists that, you're such a prostitute. Dude, I need cash flow so that I can continue to create the more serious work. I need funding. There's a lot of artists out there that doing GoFundMe. A lot of artists out there think that that's more honorable than selling, I don't know, than doing pet portraits on the side, or doing doing painting classes or landscape paintings or plein air paintings or whatever on the side. Maybe you're a big bad abstract painter who only paints in massive canvases, and you're like, I'm not gonna sell out. But at the same time, you may be starving. Starving, like they say, starving artists. Not starving, but you know what I mean. At the same time, you may not be selling anything, and you may be shooting yourself on the foot. It wouldn't be a bad idea to do something on the side that has to do with artwork that doesn't require another skill set. I know so many artists are doing this. I used to do this. It's such a waste of talent. Okay? I was a carpenter. I used to work in remodeling and carpentry. Like rough carpentry, not like finished carpentry. I did some of that, but I wasn't that good at it. I used to work, construction, having real skills at painting. But oh, God forbid, there's nothing wrong with the construction. What I'm saying is that it was very hard work. That's what I'm trying to say. It was very hard work. And I was working construction and not using my skill set as an artist, not using my skills that, by the way, could pay me much more than working construction as a laborer in construction. Could pay me much more because it's a higher end skill set, right? There's people out there that would love for you to paint something for them, to draw something for them. They love that. People out there love that stuff, But I think a lot of artists are infected with the idea. Yes, I call it infected with the idea. But you can only paint your serious work, and you can't paint stuff that the market actually wants. It's a conflict. It's a conflict. It's an ego thing. It's very egoic. It's like, oh no, I must not become an art prostitute. Oh no. But at the same time, you're going and doing very labor intensive work. You're washing dishes, flipping burgers, very intensive work. It's very hard work. I've done both of those. Very hard work. And you don't want to use your skill sets to produce income. It's like it's such a disservice to your skill set. You have such strong skill set, and you may not be wanting to use it. I know a lot of artists don't want to use it. I didn't want to use it. It's exactly that. It's knowing something that you can get paid for much more and not wanting to use it because you're so afraid of compromising, but yet you go and do something completely harder and more labor intensive. So this is what I decided to write the guide, because I wasn't going to share this info. Like, I figured this shit out on my own. No one told me. It's not like someone told me, look, this is how you do it. You're going to go sell paintings on Craigslist, and this is how you're going to do it. Let me walk you step by step, right? No one told me that. Like, I had to figure this shit out on my own. I had to piece it together. And the reason I'm saying this is because I had no choice. I had no choice. There was no choice for me. I had absolutely no choice. I had to do it. I either did it or I was going to suffer the consequence, of not being able to be an artist. So I had to do it. I had to come up with something, What can I do? I asked myself. I asked myself many times, what can I do as an artist? Can I do this? Can I do that? What can I do? And until I started digging, into that mindset, and then boom, something clicked. And I started selling, right? And I wrote the process. It was so important to me that I wrote it down, and I said, I think this is important. I may use this one day. I'm going to record this. I'm going to record this process. This is important. So I did. I recorded the process, and I kept it with me. I kept it with me for years, actually. It's been like over 6 years. I kept it with me. I was like, I put it away. I filed it away, and I never told anyone anymore. Never told anyone. Never. It's not rocket science, but it is a game changer if you are not used to selling. If you're afraid of selling artwork, if you don't know what to do, if you have no idea how to start generating a cash flow, right? It is a cash flow strategy. It's not. I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars. It might not even be, thousands of dollars. It might be hundreds of dollars. I don't know. It was $525 the first time I did it. In one day. That's what it was for me. I don't know if that's going to be for you. Maybe it's going to be more, depending on how savvy you are and how much you actually want to make it work. It might be more for you. I don't know. It might be less. Who knows? But that's not the part that matters to me. Looking back in hindsight now is the change, the mind change. The mindset changed for me. it got me to start thinking, oh shit, I can do this. I can actually sell my artwork. It clicked, it clicked something in my mind. I went from I was already exhibiting art in different places, guys. Like, it wasn't my first rodeo, by the way, okay? It wasn't like, oh my God, I want to be an artist. What can I do? No, I had already had like a couple of shows in Chelsea, in New York. I had already done, a shitload of exhibits in different galleries throughout the United States and elsewhere. I had already been part of, but this stuff happened in a matter of years, okay? So it didn't happen like, when I'm saying a shitload of art exhibits, it's not like I was having an art exhibit every month. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I was an artist for like 15 years or so, and only have like one gallery a year. So I had like 15 major galleries, like major gallery exhibits, art competitions, and local art and craft shows, and on and on. And I couldn't sell shit. I didn't get the hang of it. I wasn't doing it enough. I was doing it enough to I don't know, to talk about it, to complain about it, to feel proud, right? Oh my God, I remember my first time I sold a $1,000 painting. I was like, oh my God, yeah, but I didn't sell another one till like 5 months later. What good does that do if you want income from it? Just do the math on that. You sell a $1,000 painting, right? Just like I did. I don't know if that's your case. That was my case. I sold a $1,000 painting. I was like, yeah. And then the gallery's like, give me my 50%. Oh, okay, $500. I end up with $500. Okay. And God forbid that Uncle Sam found out, because then I was going to end up with $300, right? So if I sell another one, let's say that I ended up with $500. If I sold another one 5 months later, I made a whopping $100 per month. I mean, come on, guys, it doesn't add up. Just think about it. The numbers aren't there. I know a handful of artists who keep exhibiting the same artwork over and over. I saw this girl exhibiting the same painting for, like, I don't know, what's the point of that? Like, I scratch my head, what's the point of that? She's been carrying this work, and of course, I mean, I was there, I know what that is. She's been carrying this work for years. At least 2 years, the same fucking painting, or set of paintings. And it's like show after show after show after show. And I'm like, what is the point of that? She's shipping them here, she's shipping them there. I know what that is. I know exactly what that is. It's a mind fuck. That's exactly what it is. It's hoping that you're going to be famous by creating very little impact in the marketing world, in the art world. And I had to get out of that. I had to jump out. I had to jump boat. Because, I got married, I had a newborn, and I had 2 jobs. I know some people are like, man, I have my job, my 8 to 5. I didn't have an 8 to 5. I had like an 8 to 8 or 8 to 9, at least. 8 to 9 p.m. Every day, right? 6-7 days a week. And I had to find somewhere in the middle of the night something to do. I had to figure something out. I had to figure out, what can I do? Where can I sell? How can I monetize from this skill set? I knew I had a skill set. I knew I could draw. Everybody knew that I could draw. I've always drawn. I've always painted. I was good enough to be accepted in galleries. I was good enough to win little awards. I got all kinds of shitty little awards that people are like, oh my God, you're so great. But no one bought anything, or a sporadic sale, once or twice a year. So it only created ego and an idea in my head of me being an artist, but nothing sustainable, nothing that I could feel proud of and go, you know what, honey, to my wife, right? You know what, honey, I just sold a $5,000 painting. this month. And the next month, I sold another $5,000 painting or a $10,000 painting or whatever, you know. Oh shit, every month I'm selling this. Or I sold 5 paintings this week, each one for $200 or $300 or whatever, you know. And that wasn't the case. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I was lost. I know a lot of artists feel that. I know because I wasn't alone. I thought I was alone, but when I started looking around, I started noticing that most people were in that boat. Not everybody. Some artists feel very comfortable making, you know, $1,000, $2,000 a month, and kind of like trying to live with that. I know some artists that do that. That's great. I can't live with $2,000 a month. I just can't. You know, I have a family. I can't do it. Maybe if I was alone, if I lived by myself, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think I can. And I'm not saying this to be an asshole or to be cocky or anything. It's just it doesn't register well with me. It doesn't register, right? So I had to figure something out. So when I started, by the way, I started like that. I was like, how can I bring an extra, right? I have 2 jobs. How can I bring an extra $500, $1,000 a month? How can I bring that? How can I bring an extra $2,000 a month? You know, and that's when it started happening. That's when I started my gears started cranking. How can I use what I know, right? I've spent so much time learning how to paint. I've spent so much time being an artist. How can I use this knowledge, this skill set that I spent hours, days, months, years on? How can I use this skill set to bring an extra $500 a month in revenue? How can I do that? I started thinking, and anyways, I go through that in my guide, in my artist guide. I go through that. I let you guys know in a very simple, pragmatic, actionable. It's actionable. Look, this is what I did, and your gears are going to start turning. If you're not used to selling, if you don't know what to do, if you feel lost, this guide is going to get your gears turning. It's not complicated. Today I do different stuff, right? I make much more than that nowadays. I feel grateful. There's days that I feel I don't make enough. There's days that I feel I don't make enough, but I make much more than what I did when I created the guide, or when I not created the guide, but when I did that, what I say in the guide. I had no idea how to go about it before that, and I made it work. Today I do different stuff. I don't do Craigslist anymore. I'm tempted, because it's just another income stream. So I'm like, oh man, why don't I get back to doing that and add to my revenue? But I'm going on to different stuff now. I'm doing different stuff, and I know some artists are like, well, show me that. Show me what you're doing now. I want to learn what you're doing now. I will show you. But look, I'm going to be honest with you. If you can't wrap your brain around $500, okay, it's going to be very hard to wrap your brain up around how do I make $4,000 or $5,000 in a day. That's what I'm generating today. It's going to be a bit more difficult. It's going to be like, wait a minute, how do you do that? How do you do that selling artwork? How many levers do you have to pull? How many things do you have to do in order to make that work? It's going to feel it's gonna feel more a little bit harder, a lot harder. You know, it's gonna be confusing. Is what I'm trying to say. So I want to get you started with something. Get you started how I got started. I know a lot of artists out there are like, no, dude, I want to learn what you're doing on eBay. I want to learn what you're doing on commissions, because I that's how I make my cake. I make my cake with eBay and commissions right now. And I make my cake from other places that a lot of artists don't know, and I'm going to start sharing those things too. But they're more complicated. They're a bit more complicated. They take it's not that it's difficult, like, oh, I can't, you're saying I'm stupid. That's not what I'm saying, guys. What I'm saying is that it becomes a bit more complicated because there's different things now. You have to open different websites. You have to have different lead capture things, and there are more systems in place. It's going to take more time than just a guide. And if you're not willing to jump through a guide first, through a hoop, it's going to be very hard. I promise you, it's going to be harder to... If you're not willing to spend $49 on a guide for me to show you how I made $525 in one day on Craigslist, you're sure as hell not going to want to spend $1,000, $2,000 for me to hold your hand and walk you through how I made $100,000 in 1 year on eBay. It's going to be harder. You're not going to want to do it. You're going to be like, oh no, you know what? I give up on this. It doesn't make any sense, you know? So I want to get you started, at least rolling with something. You know, if you haven't sold, if you don't know how to sell, if you're confused about selling artwork, I want to get you started. I want to get you rolling. All right? I'll leave you with that, guys. I'll get back to you later. And I'm going to put the link below somewhere on Instagram somewhere. I'm going to take a photo of the link or something. I don't know. All right? Take care, guys. Adios.